I think that for once I'm right on time. How you doing, Wolf? It's been a while. I mean, I think for the majority of you, no, because we have seen each other earlier today already. But yeah, sorry for postponing this live show, but it needed to be done. I have now finished the book. So, how are you, Wolves? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. I haven't finished it yet, so I came to say hello and I'll watch and comment once I'm done with it. Yes. It's a chunky book, honestly. But first, spoiler free at the very beginning, we're just gonna talk about like the overall feelings that this book had on us. And also wait, my playlist just landed. Pretty sure I won't make this live show. No worries. Travel safe. Do you say that? Travel safely? Flight well? I forgot what the expression was. But hello. But yeah, so spoiler free at the very beginning. Then we'll get into spoilers. And I forgot what I was. Oh no, I wanted to say that at the beginning, so on the day, so I had I don't know, safety planning. I mean, has it just landed so she can get in to get back here, or has it just landed here so she can get home? I don't know, but yeah. So I was saying this morning, I actually woke up at 9. I slept like I feel like 4 or 5 hours. So if I don't make sense, please let me know. I'm still like digesting the book and I have a little bit of a migraine because of the lack of sleep, so bear with me. But this morning I was at 18% of the book and I finished reading it around 5 p.m., something like that, because it was so easy to read and I loved it. So hi, haven't finished it either, so I'll just be here for the spoiler free bit. No worries. I will let you know when we get into spoilers and I will put the banner so everyone knows. Damn, that cover looks great as a thumbnail background. You mean that? You like it? Like, I'm happy you like it. That's the one I also use for oh no, you mean the cover for the thumbnail. Oh my gosh, my brain. But yeah, it looks great. Sorry. It took me a second to understand. Always mentions it before. Yes, absolutely. Always do that. If you're talking about this one, I use it for Into the Drowning Deep as well because it has that dark kind of shallowy water. I don't know if that makes sense. Deep down, you know what I have in mind. But also the cover. I mean, I don't have the physical book, but that cover was gorgeous. More wolves who need the time to. I think so too. Hello. Hi. Hello. Oh no, you have sold. Hello. I just raced home from a nice day out in Nottingham. So as no. Oh no, you just raced. You didn't have to race. Hello. At points during in the book, I had chills, but obviously, you know what? Regarding that, I will say that okay, so overall, I've really enjoyed it. I have not entered it in Copile, but I think it might be a 5 stars. I found it pretty easy to read, fast paced, even though the beginning was quite slow, and I feel like the ending was not perfect because of things. I felt like this book was full of how can you say that? Um like believable, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Wait, have I written that down in the like humble people? Humble people. Um, like I felt like the characters in there. I hated one, and then I had a lot of respect for them, and then I really cared about some. I feel like this book was a lot of like beautiful moment, but at the same time heartbreaking in some way. It was full of broken people dealing with their own shit all the time, but facing it in such a human and strong way at the same time. And of course, you cannot just deny the military side aspect of the book that I found quite interesting with the whole thing like, do you have to trust the entire empire? Can you trust them? Should you not? Do you have to follow even if you don't trust them? Or maybe they're actually really trying to protect you and not lying to you, etc., etc. So let me know what you thought of the overall book and the characters and everything. I'll be really curious to see how you feel about it. Mm, wait. But I actually get that. Loved everything. So just I have many comments though. Okay. I don't know if I have many. Let me know what you didn't like about it. My presence can be felt when she gets. Oh, okay. 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 I'm sure we'll know if anyone has actually entered anything. Oh, I see. Wait, no, that's the old one. Wait, let me get to Sword of Kaigen. I think we got three. Three reviews. I mean, at least three ratings. Maybe not reviews, but three ratings. I'm sure we'll recognize your feather. Do you say that in English? Your feather? You know, your writing. Of that. Finished it yesterday. It was reread for me, and I'm happy to say it still is a 5 stars. You know, I think it's gonna be a 5 stars for me. And you know what? I was expecting to enjoy it. I don't think I was expecting to love it for some reason. But I found the writing style so easy. And I'm telling you, like I read it hella fast and it is a chunky book and it is dense, but at the same time it felt so it didn't feel dense, if that makes any sense. It just felt very I don't know. I had a great time. As you can tell, I have not digest the book yet. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It's my second time reading it. Oh, really? Well, did you find do you still have exactly the same feeling towards the book? Of course, spoiler free. Or has your like overall thoughts changed regarding that book? You know, reading it the second time, did you catch up on things that you didn't understand the first time, etc.? I also love the wood background. They're both gorgeous. Thank you. Finished it on time, but it has been about 16 books ago. He is still very much impressive. I'm just like, you're impressive. I forgot to mark my review with spoilers. I hope no one read it and ruined things. Oh, you mean on Goodreads? I have not checked it, so. Really? Okay. I would get it for the very beginning, absolutely, because I felt like he was like a little bit slow, like a tad slow, I would say. And it took me also some time. Like, honestly, I don't know how you feel all about it, etc., etc. But I had a hard time with the characters. So every time I read their name, I was like, oh, I know who it is. But for me to just remember their names out of nowhere, like out of the blue, blah blah blah, I would not be able to do it. But every time I read them, I was like, oh, okay, I know that. I know at the end of the book there is like some kind of like glossary or whatever with all the families involved in the book, but also some specific terms, terminology or whatever, and also like all the different characters, who they were to each other, etc., etc. The thing is that I'm reading it as an ebook, and it takes a lot of effort to go to the end of your ebook and then back where you were reading, where you were at. So I did not use that. Also, I think that it would be a great idea to actually have those kind of things at the beginning, so you are actually aware it exists, or that it is at least mentioned, like at the beginning of the book. Oh, pay attention at the end of the book because there is some kind of glossary that could be helpful, blah, blah, blah. But again, if it's an ebook, I don't think I'm going to bother go back and forward, like, whatever. Um, so there is that. So I do appreciate that as well, even though my brain just works differently and I couldn't remember things. But lots of yawning. Okay. Did anyone else feel that way? Agreed on how easy it was to read. I also found myself wanting to pick it up all the time from the moment I woke up. Actually, I really relate to that. Um, okay, it sounds really fake because I was not able to read it during the week. But it was insanely busy at work, and with my whole schedule being messed up, oh, I see a fourth review. um, uh, I just I still need time to figure out things out. But honestly, I started this morning at 10 and I finished it at 5. I pretty much read nonstop and I just couldn't put the book down. I was so into it. I don't know, maybe fantasy, military thing. I've always liked like political books. Most of the time, there is some kind of military in political books because there is like some kind of like war in preparation, or you want to overrule the do you say overrule overthrow or whatever the king or something. So there is something that's kind of military. But maybe I found like a new subgenre of some kind that I really did enjoy because I loved it. Even though it's not like the classical military in it, I would say. Okay, I was about to say something, so that's why I just stopped. Um, but I did enjoy it. And that would also be the book I will be like Googling. Do you have a book similar, like book similar to that one, to A Sword of Kaigen, to read? Kind of something that is similar but not similar at the same time, if that makes sense. 5 stars. I cried multiple times, so it needs the 5 stars for all the emotions. I thought it was someone knocking. Yeah, we were during the live this morning. I don't know if anyone saw, but at one point I was like, I was not expecting something to happen, and it happened. And I do love it, but also I felt. I did not cry. I think because I'm sleep deprived. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sleep deprived, I would tend to cry more. But yeah, I felt like it was very emotional, especially when I said very humble characters that sometimes will surprise you. Don't worry, spoiler free. They will surprise you in a way that they rethink things. And I found it very. Not everyone's going to do that because it's a very mature thing to do. But I really did appreciate it in the book because, as I said, communication is key. That's 5 stars for me too, and it's not the usual thing I've read, but I really enjoyed it. I lost track of the names, but love the family dynamics. I loved the mother son father relationship, but also the friendship in it. I love that. I really did love that too. I re- I, re- I just really hate one character. Who was it? Feel free to say who you hate. That sounds like a page for the Sunlight Archive. Oh, really? Well, mm, angry, sad, filled with love. I felt everything. It was a roller coaster, but I think it was because of how the characters evolved. I felt the fighting stances and descriptions were like describing a beautiful. Love that. I found the the magic system and the battles and the fights of whatever very poetic in some way, especially one particular that made me just have all the emotions. When that happened, I was like, wow, well, we're going to talk about it. And please remind me, everyone in the chat, to mention that one. Um, but you know, I actually get what you meant, Cleo. I don't know. I think it was you. Yeah, that you don't see things, but you could actually picture things within that book. I did not picture things, but I feel like I saw more than what I would usually see in other books, and I don't know why. It has obviously something to do with the way it was written, and I'm so behind the comments. I'm so sorry. I'm getting to them. um, but yeah, I love that book. I really love that book. Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. 4 stars. I liked it. Nice. As you said, characters were just so human, flawed, and exactly, exactly. And the emotions that they felt, and whether it's like jealousy, protection, love, or just like ignorance, or just like something, guilt or whatever, it all felt right. Not because it was right or fair, but just because you could understand them feeling that way, or it would make sense in that situation. Oh, I think we all know what chapter we're talking about. When that happened, especially like not the moment it happened, but the moment after, like the just the very short chapter. I was like, oof, that's intense. I had no problem with the pacing because I was quite enjoying the story and history. Yes, absolutely. I loved it, even though it wasn't perfect. Yeah, absolutely fair. I'm looking forward to the whole review. 275. Oh my gosh, the difference. I think it's going to be a 5 stars for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Absolutely fair. I found even the beginning quite well paced. Yeah, I think for me it was just like it was a tad slower. So obviously it's not objective, but more like subjective because that's how we rate books, etc. I mean, that's how I rate books subjectively, and regarding how much like I felt or how much I liked it, the writing style, the characters, the world building, anything happening, the intrigue, etc., etc. But I feel like in the beginning, it like I enjoyed it very much from the very beginning. The very first chapter, I was like, "Ooh, okay, I'm loving it. I don't know where it's going, but I'm loving it." Kind of how it happens with the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne, with Malice, etc., etc. The first 100 pages, I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't remember all the names, especially because all the names were starting with the same letters, same sounds, things like that. Ridiculous. and but I was like so like curious. I was so into it. I wanted to read more. And I had the same with this one. Even though I had a bit of a struggle with even more with the names. Especially because I feel like in the first 2, 3 chapters, we just get to hear about like 10,000 characters. And it's not just the name or the nickname, it's like full name. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to remember it. So I'm just going to accept the fact that I'm not going to remember them. Absolutely. Yes, 5 stars for me as well. The ending was a bit too fast for me, but I just loved everything else so much. Yes, absolutely. Love the characters even more, and the atmosphere felt even more real. And the reread, Mamoru and Kwang's conversations hit me harder the second time around. I was more outraged. Yep. Yep. Some conversations that happened Yeah, absolutely. Mm. Yeah, I don't think it was just the fact that the name were just like not something I'm used to, because I don't read that I have like I've read a few like Asian inspired books, but not that much. I'm way more familiar obviously with anything Slavic because it's home, you know. Um but in general I struggle with names. It has probably something to do with my lack of good memory because of not picturing things and not remembering things and whatever. But I usually struggle with names. Um, but I think it's the fact that the names were intimidating to me. Or maybe it has to do, like, it obviously has to do with Asian names because they were every time they would give their full names, and I felt like it was a lot to remember. But that's just my I don't know, leader brain. But yeah, I still recommend it to people because my bookish opinions usually don't match up with the majority. You know what? I I would like there are books I hated that I still recommended to some people because I knew that they would like the tropes or any something that happened in them. So it's absolutely fair. I would recommend books that I hated, like I would recommend books I loved. It depends on who's the person asking for recommendations. I remember Mamoru pretty easily, but that was mostly in Azuma 11 and Hajime no Ippo. Misaki reminded me too much of Mikasa, so mixed with the names. Fair, absolutely fair. As long as I think that in a book, as long as you can distinguish all the characters, and as long as every time you read about them, you know they're just someone different or whatever, I think it's okay not to remember the names all the time. It took me a while to get into the names. I didn't use a glossary as well because of ebook reasons, but after a while, it was no problem anymore, and I was so into it. Yeah, exactly. It just takes a little bit of time to actually get in the story and the names and everything. But also, you know, at one point in the book, like whenever you read about a certain point of view, you just feel whose point of view it is because you just know them at one point. Someone said about the glossary on Discord, I took screenshots. I just struggle when too many names start with the same letter. Exactly. I know. I read your reviews on Goodreads, but I see where your critiques are coming from. I need to read that review. We might read some of it when we get to the spoiler part. I'm less of a character-driven sort of reader, so that's probably most of my problem. Okay, so overall, before we get into spoilers, whatever, you would describe that book more character-driven than plot-driven? Because honestly, I get it, but I think there was, yes, it was more character-driven. Now that I think about it, because there was a plot and there was action and things happening, but at the same time, it was way more about them dealing with shit. I know G also didn't vibe with this book, that's why I was worried, but she also didn't love the whole place like I did. So you, yeah, better know until you never know until you read it. Hello, number one, and where is number two? And number two is here. Hello, Mooney. Hello, Nova. Yeah, you know, some people like our do have completely different tastes, and that's fine. I cried once. Oh, you did? Interesting. No worries. I also love the magic, and you get that situation pretty early on where you get to see it in use. Yeah, I did love. I apologize for that. But I did love the magic system. I'm still not sure I understand everything, but I get the overall picture of it. So, and it kind of makes sense for one character in particular. It, shoot. Did you hear the button? She pressed the ball button. And of course, just before the live, we played with the ball downstairs. Shoot. I love the magic too. I don't have it. It's not even. I'm sorry. It was how it was written, and earth, fire, water, air, the four nations lived in harmony until the fire nation attacked. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Get what you mean. Mm. Kyrian, Celian, all the names. Yeah, I know what you mean. The plot was more like politics and secrets. Yes, exactly. So it's not action packed. It was still like very plot-ish. Mooney and Nova. I did really love the book. I cried maybe 6 times. Don't even know how many times. Yeah. No, they're gonna settle down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Because I have to find the ball. Maybe it's under a couch or whatever, so I might be gone for longer than that. Maybe they're just trying to tell you how fun it was when they play with maybe. Because they lay down, so maybe. But yeah, so do you have anything else to say that is spoiler free? Let me just check my notes. Oh, I love that somehow. Not somehow. Why did I say somehow? I loved the um yeah, no, that's spoilery. No, I cannot say that. I love the vibe of the main characters. Like, I think, who is your favorite character so far, or who is your actual favorite character by the end of the book? I'd be curious to see who was your favorite. If you don't remember the name, don't worry. Just say who they were in the book. I think mine was actually the mom. So Misaki, Mamoru, Misaki and Mamoru both. Okay. I can't believe how long the last chapter was. I was excited to almost be done. My kid was like, I know, the last chapter was one of the longest. Mamoru. Yeah. Yeah, I think mine will be Misaki, but then Mamoru is just like, there is something very, very, very special and unique about that one, and very mature and very. Although I love Setsuko, the sister-in-law too. She was a hood. Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, but many of them were actually great, and many of them felt like they belonged there. But I think now it's time to get into spoilers. So I'm gonna put the banner and just give you like a few seconds to leave before we get into spoilers. But yeah, thank you for anyone who was there till now. I hope that if you don't come back here after you have read the book, finished the book, there's always like the Discord on which you can share your thoughts. But we're gonna slowly dive into spoilers. Yukino die. She was funny. That one nickname sort of thing she came up with was so clever. But that's spoilery to say more. Yes. Teacher. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I don't know if there's still someone who has not finished the book yet, but I think because it didn't say bye, just want to make sure. Yes! I did too. I think it's okay now. We can get into spoilers. You know, the way I was saying, so spoilers, 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 spoilers. If you haven't read the book or you don't want to hear about spoilers, leave now. You've been warned. I hated the husband from the very beginning. I I hated him. I hated him with every single cell of my body. But by the end, when you kind of understand, or I will accept not to entirely understand it, when, unless I have mixed up things because I read too fast, but exactly. I, that's the husband, right? Just, I hated him with every single cell of my body. But that ending, that evolution, I mean, I was like, would I ever forgive him? That's the thing. Like, would I ever forgive him? Even though now I do understand a little bit more about him and everything. Ice cold asshole. I mean, we got the description a few times that kissing him. I mean, at the end, like he was cold. They were always cold, and the kids and things like that. Um, but I feel like I don't know what it was like describing or what was the message with him and everything. But I found it very interesting that he kind of, he didn't want to feel, so he connected to that mountain kind of thing just to be a little bit elsewhere, etc., etc. And trigger warning, just I'm just going to mention a few. How can I say trigger warning? We're not going to get into details regarding, I'm just going to mention them. But the fact that he did that to just ease his pain and not feel whatever kind of reminded me of some people like using drugs or being constantly under the influence of alcohol or like booze or anything to just ease the pain and just not be there, and just, even though he was doing it, to just be able to continue to be able to handle things the most like with his brain kind of and not his heart. It kind of reminded me of that. And by the end, when he decided not to hide behind that ability, he kind of felt things and kind of opened up. Even though I'm not sure I would forgive him, I think I would actually understand him and kind of give him like a new chance. But not forgive. I don't know if that makes sense. All the feels. Yeah. Scores a douche. No, nope, no forgiveness, no second chances. Hate him. I do understand the culture, so I could see where he came from. Yeah. Fair. I understand his point of view from the ending, but well, it took that long for him to explain. But maybe the thing with the mountain not making them quite human maybe takes really a lot from them, and they kind of in a trance, like in between kind of mindset. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think they quiet themselves at all. And it's not just when they connect, it might be like it might have a longer effect on them, but that we're just not aware of. I honestly don't know. I still didn't like how he treated. Oh no, I will never agree with it. But at the same time, how, like, it's hard with that culture, like being married up, like they're being married, they didn't marry for love, they're just being put together because of bloodline, you know what I mean? So do you always expect them to just fall in love right away? Usually it comes with time, unless you're lucky. it comes with time, and then when you get to that respect stage, that's when you open up and understand the other and give them a fair chance. Well, at the beginning you don't do that, you know what I mean? So yeah, Hiro was a much more interesting character on the reread because you know a bit more. It still doesn't explain. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. But I think he was still interesting, you know. Oh, okay. Okay, 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 okay. Mm, really? I think I've read it so fast that I did not tell on that. I did not like. I know something happened in, but to someone else. But yeah, yeah. If you have like a specific scene in mind, please share. We don't hate you. No, we. I mean, at this point, like, I have many questions. Who is the enemy at the end of the day? Like, who is the enemy? Is it what we're learning at the end of that, of those people building like an army by stealing kids who have strong abilities? Is it the empire that's just bullshitting everyone? Who is the enemy in there? Like, I'm still like a bit I'm not sure. How come I did not? Maybe I read it too fast. I know there was mention for another character, and I guess it kind of makes sense. We're not going to talk much about it because triggers, but it kind of makes sense when you marry because you have to marry and not because of love, you know, because of the situation. I'm saying it makes sense to have that mentioned, not to have that happening. So we're clear. It makes sense to have that comment in this whole situation. That's what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, I missed the mentions of that. I think. Oh shoot! Now I feel bad because I don't remember all these things. But yeah, never to forgive. That I absolutely agree. Love the dynamic between the sister-in-laws. Yes, yes, yes. And like the sister-in-laws, but also the other woman that they call sisters. I love that. Takeru was a much more interesting character on the route. Oh, I already read that one. Oh, it got written twice. No worries. There was another unseen character that I also hated, the father of Takeru. Oh my god, isn't it the one who just slapped um Misari? Was that her name again? I forgot. Misuri, Misaki. Oh my gosh, because like she miscarried, and then by the end we just learned that it is a normal thing to do with those people with those powers. And I was just like, are you a douche? It was him, right? Because you lost your wife because of what your fucking blood is carrying. And now you're just bullying that poor woman that you marry off to your son because bloodline. And you know that carrying a baby is very dangerous for them. Oh, it was horrible. Yep. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm. Sometimes good things do happen. Not all the time, but sometimes. It reminds me a lot when one goes into oneself to just not have to feel because everything feels overwhelming. I have that on a smaller scale with my anxiety and depression, so I push people. That's why I said that I understand some of the things that he did and felt and or did not feel and everything, like the things that he did in order to not feel and not realize what was happening and everything. So I get it. I get it. Yeah, even though I can excuse how he treated his wife. There is, I think, here we have to make the distinction between the fact that he was escaping reality and his feelings. He was just blocking them. And then the way he was treating people. I think those two are kind of linked but also different, because even if you do push people because of whatever reason, there is a difference between pushing people or just not being in contact with them or just be like leave me alone or whatever, and being like bully, you know. I think there is a difference also. I think how you feel about get redemptions, whatever is more who each reader is as a person than what was actually written in the next. Wait, I think how you feel about the hero's redemption or whatever is more who each reader is as a person than what was actually written. Yeah, okay, so everyone would actually. Um, the thing is that I love that evolution. I love that character development or whatever, because I feel that what was needed in the story. We needed answers, and we needed Misaki to actually have answers to her questions. Because I'm sorry, but Misaki wasn't perfect either. You know, with the way she was close to her son, but not that close, whatever. And when she lost her son, she just realized how much she would have loved to, you know, love him differently and act differently and be someone else or whatever. Because she also put like a barrier between some of her feelings and duties and things she knew she had to hide and everything. I feel like everyone was like living in a cage in some way. And at the end, she kind of also opened up to her husband about a few things, and he did as well. And they just allowed each other to be understood by the other one. Again, I I don't know. That's maybe just the way I, because you know I'm all about like communication. The thing is, I would take in everything, and I would not really understand, but acknowledge everything you say to me as long as you say it. If you don't say it, I'm not gonna be the girl who's gonna be like trying to understand what you mean or trying to read in between the lines or whatever. You say it or you don't, you know. And I feel like having an explanation by the end, it's something that I would need. I would not forgive you, but I would really appreciate that conversation, that communication, and everything. So maybe that's why I would just like, I don't know how to explain that. But I think, yeah, yeah, I don't know. But honestly, when they did fight, I was hoping she would cut his head, like behead him. I was hoping for it to happen, and I'm still not sure which end I prefer. I think that now they both at a better place, especially after he called Robin to come and visit and things like that, because he was like, "I trust you," and I feel like Misaki deserves that. She deserves to be trusted, but also to have someone who knows who she is now, with the whole fighting things and etc. etc. And I'm kind of happy for her, even though they needed to go that far and to be that hurt in order to make it happen. They choose to marry him in a way, but she was not happy with it though. No, get married and have your husband's sons, so what the wife wants or doesn't is irrelevant. That's the thing, that's their society, and you have that in a lot of books when kids are just being married whatever, just to keep the popularity of your family high and you can only marry above the same level or above, never below, and things like that. So you see it in very often in books, and you don't. And in books, you also see them falling in love like so fast, immediately, blah blah blah. And here it wasn't the case, which made it a bit more like, yeah. I hope Ayumi is going to be like her mom. She would be badass. Yes. You know, the thing is that that book was written as a standalone, but I think it could even be a duology. I'm not asking for it to be a duology because we do need standalones that are that strong, in my opinion. And I don't think it is. I think it is part of a series, though. No? Or is it not? Like, there is a series that is happening in the same world, but have that has nothing to do with that book in particular. But I think you can keep reading about that world. But I feel like that book could actually give another baby, a baby book. But yeah, she would be like, yep, absolutely, I agree. Because she thought it was her fault for miscarriage. For miscarriage twice. Yes, exactly. So I think she, at least with that conversation and everything, she got some truth and she got some peace. And that's why I said at the very beginning, communication is key. Is that don't let someone feel guilty the entire life for something they're not responsible for, of, or whatever. You know what I mean? So she thought she was responsible for it, but actually she was not. It was just like they knew it would happen. So that's why they married him to someone like her because of her lineage and etc. etc. And they were like, maybe she's gonna have more chances in carrying the babies and blah blah blah, and it will make like super strong warriors, etc. etc. So I'm happy she got some answers. I love that whole conversation scene when Misaki was like, "Explain yourself, you bastard," because I'm over it. Yes, and I highly respect that. I really did. But I also do love the fact that, but again, it's not defending him or whatever, but he was holding like everything. And then at the end, when Misaki felt like he was actually fighting, like he would fight a true warrior, and that she just smiled. So powerful. So powerful. It was pretty impressive. That chapter gave me the chill. I love that chapter. I think it was my favorite chapter. That fighting was my favorite chapter, I think, in the book. Yeah, that was really satisfying seeing her stand up for herself and tell him what an asshole he's been. Yeah, because the thing is that she is that kind of person. She is that kind of, even I want to say, leader and example for other women within that society, etc., etc. But she was keeping it down on purpose. She decided to do it because that's what she was supposed to do, or whatever. And I feel like when you have that kind of strength to be like, I'm not that, I could stand up for myself, but I don't do it, blah blah blah, it's showing either a bigger strength, if that makes sense. And I really have a lot of respect for her. It was bittersweet seeing that Mamoru was going to be the youngest master of the bloodline technique, but it would be unknown. I know, you know, when that happened and then we had the little chapter after being like, oh, I just see everything. I'm gonna die. No, it's not possible. I'm dying. I'm dead. My heart. I was like, oh my heart. I just felt like it was so unfair. So freaking unfair. And I'm getting emotional now that I just rethinking about that short chapter of his point of view after, when he realized that he was actually dead. And imagine after, also not defending him or whatever, but the dad, he felt that his son got killed at that point. He felt him dying. Maybe, maybe it's the fact that when he escaped and was connected to the mountain, he still was able to feel something, and that's what made him click, being like, I should stop hiding. I don't know. But yeah, that line made me so mad. My whole deserved recognition. Bless him. Yeah. Oh, that scene was just everything. It was so epic and beautiful and heartbreaking. Like a dance, as someone said in the beginning, don't remember who it was. Um, I, I think I mentioned it. I don't know. I cannot remember. But yeah. Yeah, no one will ever know what he truly did. It was so sad. I just, it was horrible. Yes, there are other books in the same world. That's what I thought. The author wanted to write it as a series, but he continued with it. Discontinued with it. Interesting. That's the name of the series. Oh, kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. The last chapter felt like an extended epilogue, trying to get you to read the next book, but then the author discontinued the series. So why? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe it didn't work well in 2017 when it came out. I honestly don't know. It came out in 2017 or 2018, something like that. Um, or maybe their editor wanted them to go another path. And they kept reminding you that he died, and I started sobbing all over again and again. It broke me. I know, but I feel like it was a huge. I mean, it was very important. His death is very important because he's one of the characters. He just got into. He got his mom to open up to him and trust him. When she shared her secrets and things like that, whatever. And he kind of felt like stronger knowing his mom, like, really, and if he felt stronger but also way more in a way vulnerable. I don't know. He just wanted to, when he said, yeah, I'm the son of two fighters, of two strong people, of two warriors, or whatever the word he used. And you could feel that he was so freaking proud of them and so freaking proud of his heritage in some way. And I almost felt like he could just rule the entire world. And then that happened, and I was just like, was it really necessary? I like it when that kind of things do happen in books because it makes everything like more realistic in a way. But again, was it really necessary? When Misaki found Mamoru's body and was talking to him, that's when I cried. Yep. Um, mhm. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Absolutely. But it was also so beautifully written and loved, and they still kept remembering the people who died, even when they were not allowed to talk about it. Yes. But also that whole empire burning everyone and like just not giving grief time and grief opportunities and just doing everything. I don't know. I don't know. You have to, like, it takes strength to just say, okay, okay, we believe in the empire, do what you do. It takes strength to not go against it because they wanted to go against it. They wanted to just open their mouths and be like, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? They wanted to say that to those people, but they did not because they knew it could be worse and because they knew they had to protect the people who were left there, grieving and everything. But what they did was fucking disgusting. And that's what I said. Like, it's full of things in this book. Of course, we're not going to get into conspiracy things and everything, but there are things happening that are being covered up, and or that happened, and it was a way of including it in books. And I still not sure who the enemy is. Is it the enemy bad people? Is it actually the empire? What is going on? What is the truth here? I still don't know. I still don't know. No, I get that. I absolutely get it. But I did spoil a bit that at least the little brother would survive with that. Also loved. But also the brother, the little brother sounds like he could be the beginning of a villain story. I mean, maybe it's an I don't know, maybe it's my brain just understanding that way, but I feel like that little brother could become a villain. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So love the fight technique the brothers did with the Ice Dragon. They were great team. Loved the whole thing. I love the magic system in this book, like the magical abilities and everything. I did love it. For me, it was quite unique because I have not read things like that, and even like blood magic, etc. It's quite different and not just so subtle and limited in some way, but also again that ending, the fact that Robin was actually blocked, his entire body was just blocked from someone who used that blood stingy magic, and Misaki Misuki, again, see, I'm so bad with names, could just do like a part of his hand or whatever. It keeps so many open things for the end, so I'm not sure I'm satisfied by it. Oh, okay, I need to check it then. He said that he cannot write such a book in a continuation anymore because he's a different writer now and he doesn't want to do his baby bad with writing something he's not happy with. I get it. I get it. But also, he should be proud of what he has written, especially like the female point of views in this book. Amazing. I thought that too because of the very strong female point of view, but absolutely not. It was disgusting. It was. It was not it. It was not it. Especially the way it was handled. Yeah, it's for the empire. Yeah, it's for the disease. I just like at least give us a real reason. Like give us something. I don't know. I hated that government, but it's dangerous to go against it. Yeah, exactly. The Kotetsu family, the blacksmith, Katashi and his son Atsushi were such great characters. How can you not love the grandmother? She was so fun. Yes. That's what I love in some like small-ish villages, whatever, is that you can find family in other people and you can find true friends in them. And how sometimes a grandmother can act as a village grandmother and things like that. I just loved all the characters, interactions, and dynamics and everything. The government be screeching like owls and slithering like salamanders. You know? They're just like, we never know. Oh, see? I did not know. Don't worry. I thought it was a woman, then there was mention of a man and then a woman, so back to a woman then. But I also don't understand how they could be so entirely isolated when people are allowed to leave and come back with the knowledge of all the propaganda. The thing is that if you don't think there is an issue or you don't think there is another truth somewhere else, where would you leave? If you feel like you have a strong obligation to be trained here to become the warrior that your government needs, because it's not one that your government needs, and that you have a whole heritage to be proud of and to continue and to work on, blah blah blah, and you have to learn how to fight and etc etc. will you find and will you want to go somewhere else if you feel like you have everything where you are? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. If you're not blocked where you are and you feel happy, do you want to leave? You know, they had a very like a high sense of duty, so I feel I can get a sequel one day, but you also need to figure out how it's ever do. I did all the short story book with a short story from the hills. This author too. Nice. Only the upper class who benefit from the current society are allowed to leave. The locals are kept ignorant. See? Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. The alchemy of sorrow. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, absolutely. So then, if they want to keep them ignorant and cut off, why were they installing the communication tower? To control them even more? You know, give them the impression that you're giving them some things, and they might be happy. You know, I like that Misaki gets the open a restaurant at the end, and it's not so controlled. She's free by the end. At least I feel like. Also, to make it easier for the government to contact them, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me close the door. Oops. People are making a lot of noises. Yeah. They already have TVs for the propaganda, though. And why allow people from the outside to mingle with the people and give them all the correct information about the empire? Yeah, but as you can see from the very beginning, that dude who explained different things was not trusted. Like, people did not trust him for saying those things. And as you see, Misaki knew about it, but she didn't say anything. She just knew about it. So I think it's way more complicated than that. I think that in order to control people, you have to give them some sense of liberty and freedom and everything. And if no one gets out or gets in, that's a little bit suspicious, I would say. But again, I don't really have an answer. Maybe the self block that like they do with the internet in the real world too. Maybe. Like, why not send soldiers to install the tower? Kwang showed up running his mouth, and Mamoru was like, wait, what? But was he sent? I don't know. At this point, I don't even trust anyone. He could also be a villain. I think, yeah. Sometimes it's, as we said, it's easier to live with your head in the sand than realizing things. But yeah, let me share my screen so we do the co-pal system. And then we're going to like do that, close the conversation, wrap this up because I have a live show at 9 p.m. Let me. Okay, that should be big enough, I think. Yes. Maybe. I just feel like when you are rebellious, it's because you see clearly that there is something off, that everything is controlled. But here, you think propagandist Governor Orthmore, who War II Germany sent about 3,000 soldiers from the front to film a movie? Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. But, so here we have, what is your first time reading this book? Nope. And yeah, so we have a mix of people who have already read the book prior to this event. In what format have you read the book, physical book, and mix? I read the ebook, even though at one point I wanted to listen to the audiobook. Um, yeah, true. Maybe they were just confident in their control or overconfident. I mean, you can kind of same example with Russia and all the propaganda that are happening there, and people are sure of themselves that there is no war, and if there is a war, it's not Putin's fault, and he did not start it. He's just trying to help. I might be cancelled for that. Will I be cancelled for talking about it in this lecture? you know? So propaganda can be done smart, in a smart way. Mm. Oh, no worries. No obligation to fill it in. No worries. The way it goes with those governments. Yep. I tried the audio, but it wasn't that great. We read one. Yep. I read the ebook, but I want the physical book now. So did we? So four. Give the narrator a 4 for the other book. I only listened to around 30% on the book that they did a good job. Okay. Yes, first time reading, enjoy the narrator. Nice. Yeah, everyone entering here has finished the book. Okay. So characters, we have 210, 19, 17. I think that for me it would be like a 9 because I was still very much impressed by everything that happened, and I really love the characters. Even the characters that I hate, I did. I mean, I. It's not that I did enjoy hating them, but it makes sense to hate them. Nice, nice. Hated the pronunciation. I get that from the audiobook, I guess. Yeah. 9. Atmosphere 9, 10, and 8. I think for me it will be a 9 as well. I think it was pretty strong, and yeah, I was scared for, or even maybe a 10. 10, 9. No, that was for the previous one. I think it was pretty good. Pretty strong for me. It was pretty high. But I don't know. I will put it to 9 now. Maybe. Really? What? Oh, okay, that's the fun because of the cold. Right. That's because of the cold. The writing style. So, yeah. Okay, cold joke. Yes. Online enjoyment time for me. It took me a second. I'm telling you, I'm tired. 2, 9, 1, 10, 1, 8. I'll have to go with a 10 because there is nothing that was really wrong for me regarding the writing style, and I just wanted to um, keep rating it. 9. 9. What about the plot? And I love that about you. The plot, we got a 9, a 10 to 8. I think I might go for 8 for that one. I think. And then for the intrigue, we have 2.9, 1.10, 1.8. We pretty much have the same rating every single time. So you kind of feel like it's always the same. I would give it a 9. What about logic? We got 2.9 and 2.8. Seems about right. I feel like some things were not that logical for me, but I will not be able to explain what it was. Probably, as Jess said, a lot of things that did not make sense with the government hiding things, etc. But also because I have so many like new questions for those people. Why are they like kidnapping kids? Why are they making an army? What's going on with the empire? I have so many questions, and if I have too many questions, it means that there are still things that I did not get. So is it because they're just not explained, or it's because the logic was like a little bit of a mess? No worries. No worries. I think I'm gonna give it like a 8. And then enjoyment, I'm gonna give it a 10 because I adore that book. We have 1.7, 2.9, 1.10. I'm gonna give it a 10. And it is a 5 stars, just a 5 stars. It made it to 9. Because if it was, I think, yeah. So from 9 to 10, it is a 5 star. And mine is a 5 star. Impressive. No worries. 10. Let's see if. So we have 1 4 and 3 5s. So we still have a majority of 5 stars here. That is pretty impressive. Ooh, we got some comments. We got 3 responses here. Okay. Ooh, the long one is probably Cleo. Let's read what she had written for us. So I definitely love Sword of Kaigen, and while it didn't leave me heartbroken like it did for the readers who got me intrigued about reading it, my appreciation of it is still building. While the beginning of this is definitely a tad slow, I feel like that slow pacing ultimately paid out as it got me very invested in these people, this town. Misaki is probably becoming one of my favorite characters of all time. I do agree with that. I feel like Misaki was really, really, really well done, had plenty of layers, and I loved her whole growing process within the book. So one thing I definitely want to highlight about this reading experience is the fact that I saw a lot of it in my head. Yeah, this is Cleo. I consider myself to have aphantasia. Typically, I see nothing when reading. Occasionally, I'll see like a movie set in certain scenes, but during the middle action sequence here, I was seeing entire battles play out as they were written, which I fully acknowledge the writing for. Aside of that, the author went for an interesting plot development with having the bulk of the action concentrated in the middle section. I don't think it fully worked, but it was refreshing and perhaps without some of the things that don't work for me plot-wise in that second half, it could have been a full success. I mean, it depends what you have in mind when talking about the heartbroken. Maybe she was expecting way more, or maybe she's just so used by Asian literature that she knew it was coming, was well prepared. I don't know, maybe. My issue with the ending is that we're coming off a high from that intense action scene, and then we're bringing back a character from her past life right at the moment in which I felt like he was superfluous to Misaki. And I understand that this is exactly what the author is trying to show. In order to round out Misaki's storyline, she needs to show her coming to terms with this past relationship that she has been holding onto so far. However, it didn't work for me. And that is perhaps more because of how much groundworks are being laid for her the Theonite series at that point? Maybe. There's a lot of info dumping at that point in the book, and the only reason we need that info is if we want to go into the Theonite series, which is unfinished and most likely abandoned. Ooh, I did not know that. The ending, therefore, fizzled out for me and was not really satisfactory, but ever since finishing it, I have regularly thought back on this reading experience, and I've also already reread certain scenes. So the ending is something that doesn't hugely impact my rating in this one. Yes, I thought she had moved past Robin. I accepted who she was then, who she's been recently, and then appreciated how it all made her who she is now. He didn't need to show up at the end. I don't think he actually showed up for her. I feel like the fact that he showed up because he was actually asked to come or invited by the husband was a determined factor for the relationship between Misaki and her husband. I don't think it really had to do with her saying goodbye, even though the husband was like, you never got to say goodbye" or whatever. I feel like it was more for their relationship than Robin and Misaki, because he had moved on as well, even though he has lost his wife. Um, he had moved on at one point. So I feel like the purpose was not for her but and Robin, but it was for, I think, the husband and her. And it makes absolutely sense to this. It's rare. Then we have a second little review here. Slow start introducing the world, rapid acceleration at the Batman and Robin scene, a colossal middle, intriguing wrap up, which leaves things very open for the rest of the story. This surely wasn't written as a standalone, given all the dangling threads of new interest right at the very end. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Vegetables and alive himself. What the fuck was that random comment about the gay couple? Wait, what? Okay, I don't remember that. And what? Again? What comment? Okay, let me read the last comment. The one who made her sword and his partner. Okay. It was randomly in the Robin part and how he lost his money and wasn't the hair anymore or whatever. Really? I think that detail slipped my mind. But what? I don't know. That I need to digest the book. I don't know. I don't know if someone can explain. I don't remember being triggered by anything. So please explain what I've missed. Okay, I'm just gonna read the last comment here while you explain what happened, because it slipped my mind. Okay, this is my second time reading The Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wang, and whoa, this book hit me even harder second time around. I was even more invested in the characters than I was the first time, and I was able to pick up so much more. The first time around, I read the ebook and read through fairly quickly. The second time I read the paperback copy, I picked up and took my time reading it, and I'm so glad I did. I was able to hop onto the Kickstarter for the Sword of Kaigen, and I can't wait to get a hardcover book and read it for a time. I can't remember this book enough. I actually I get that comment as well. It seems to be a great book to actually reread. Love it. And I did not know there was like a quick starter. I did not know that. Okay. Why throw in a tragic story for a character who randomly turns out to be gay at the end? I don't know, I forgot about. Oh! Oh, okay. I thought it was like someone criticizing something and being like, um, just negative about it. Okay. I just misunderstood your comment. I was like, oh my gosh, were they like against that? They were like very negative about it or something. Okay, yeah, but I mean, when something like that is dropped at the end, I think it could lead to a potential main, not detail anymore, but main plot or main thing in the book after. So I don't know. Nothing wrong personally, just sounded to me like setup that we ain't gonna get in book two. That's never gonna exist. Yes. 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 Yes, but he was a friend of Misaki too, and he explained what happened to all of them. So, okay. Okay. Well, I hope it was planned that they had happy and fulfilling lives in this. Okay. Yeah, but I think it's because we know it's like a standalone now. But otherwise, that kind of thing could trigger you to in wanting to actually read the next book. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think that's what it was supposed to do. But yeah, is there anything you would like to add? Something we did not mention? I think that whole last chapter, as you said earlier, felt like is it epilogue at the end of the book? Yeah, and I don't know. I actually did not mind it, but you could immediately feel that it was way lighter than the rest of the book, and it really felt like 10 years later, something, blah, blah, blah. But although the kid was cute, and I think the other two books follow him. Okay, so you mean the other series, Theonite? Okay. Oh, so a third book was initially announced. Ooh. What is it? Wait, what's the third book here? Oh, okay. Okay, so the third book has Wang has stated on her blog that she is discontinuing the series for the time being. Okay. So that's the one that is being discontinued. And their reviews. People shared reviews. 4 stars and 2 stars and 1 stars. Of course. But yeah, the two other books, I don't know which point of view they're gonna follow. I'm not gonna say anything because spoilers, but I'm not. Oh. Huh. Huh. You know what? I'm really intrigued. I want to pick it up, but do I want to pick it up and then finish a series that's never gonna be finished? Oh my god. I want to read it. I get that. I get that. I don't know if I will, because do I want to start a series that's not finished? I don't know. But I think we talked pretty much about a lot of things, and we've been talking for 1 hour and 25 minutes already. I have a live show in 35 minutes regarding Stella Loon on Press's channel. I need to reread some of my notes because I remember nothing. That's gonna be interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you had anything else to just add for the ending. We finally read that one. And the next book we shall be reading, I'm gonna share it on all the social. Oh, huh. I just saw the. Do you see the Shire Cat in Alice in Wonderland on the Discord? Never mind. Cheshire Cat. Never mind. But the next book we'll be reading is a short one, thanks God, and it is A Psalm for the Wild Build by Becky Chamber. Yeah, I'm happy you enjoyed it. I'm happy you enjoyed it. I enjoy it. I always enjoy talking to you. So until yeah, no thoughts, brain, empty life. Yeah, that's the one. We'll be reading it. My brain is empty, but I still have one live show and then another one at 4 a.m. So it's gonna be nice. um, that's a read for me. I don't know if I'll have much salt next month. Who knows? Who knows? But we're here even for the. I was about to say the pepper, but no, it doesn't make any sense. But the non-salty kind of conversation. But yeah, well, I will let you know. Thank you again for the conversation and everything. I will maybe see some of you in half an hour. Otherwise, I will see you later. Love my first Buddy Read live show. It's nice, right? I get the feeling. I'm happy you enjoyed it. I'm sorry, I don't think I will be live. No, I know you won't. Like, it's fine. I'm gonna be seriously. If I'm alone, I'm gonna do a 4-hour sprint or 3 hours and 5-minute sprints of sleeping. And then at the end, I was like, I hope you slept well. Good night. See you. There was one, as always, nice. I'm happy you enjoyed them. Oh no, don't worry, no worries. It just I wasn't sure if it was me because I read it so fast, and it's still very fresh in my head, so I have not digested everything. So don't worry. Sleep sprints, maybe that's what I'm gonna go for. We shall see. If I'm alone. But yeah, well, talk to you later. Take care. Thank you for the conversation. And from Mooney, Nova, and I, bye bye and take care. Bye.